Today is the day the Lord has made, and these are the times through which God has decided we shall live. 99% of Americans, maybe a few less, maybe about 95% have never heard of Douglas Mackey, Ricky Vaughn. If you have, welcome to being one of the important members of an intellectual minority who understands how far down the rabbit hole the left has pushed us in regard to what used to be a right in America. Free speech is no longer a right. It is a privilege. It's a privilege for the chosen few. Now, there was a time when they simply came for Alex Jones on Twitter. But remember, it was just Alex Jones, no one else. Because Alex Jones was so extreme, he had to be banned from Twitter, but just Alex Jones. And then some other people after that. And then a lot of people after that. But that's just being banned from social media. We don't jail people for speech unless it's Oren Shar, who works for Alex Jones. But then again, it's just Oren Shar who works for Alex Jones. Well, and then some Trump people like Bannon put in prison for speech. Now, I understand he did defy a congressional subpoena, just like Merrick Garland does, still does, just like Mayorkas, the disgraced boss man of DHS does, just like Hunter Biden did. But Steve Bannon went to jail, prison, just got out. Douglas Mackey is facing a sentence of 7 months in prison. Why? Because he retweeted a meme. That's it. That's all. Period. That's it. The meme said you could vote for Hillary Clinton via text. That's it. That's all. And the DOJ came after him to charge him with a form of terrorism. I'll tell you what that form was and how this relates to the funny comedian Jimmy Kimmel. I'll tell you about that in a second because the details always matter. We didn't learn a lot of detail at this level in our biology classes, human or otherwise, but there's a magnificent thing that God invented called the stem cell. When babies are being constructed in their mother's womb, God has counted every hair on their head, every hair on yours and on mine. God created these stem cells. They're these tiny little builders. And they build muscle, tissue, cartilage, brain. They build all of that. So they're miraculous. They still exist after the baby's born in the form of placentas and umbilical cords. Those items are packed with stem cells. All these building cells, they just weren't used to build. The baby was born before they were put to use. So those cells sit there ready to build things. And in America, they're taken and burned as medical trash. Not in Mexico. My friends at Renew.Healthcare take stem cells from umbilical cords and placentas, period. They do this after they pay for the entire birth process of the women, even if they reject their stem cells because they only take the best stem cells. They take them to Mexico, they culture them in their lab, and they use them to help people heal. Sometimes it's to avoid things like shoulder surgery or back surgery. Sometimes it's to help people recover more quickly. Sometimes it's to help people overcome repetitive stress things. Like if you play golf too much, there's a bunch of professional golfers that go there, people who work in building things, repetitive stress injuries, veterans with injuries, and even people with traumatic brain injuries. This never has anything to do with abortion. Only placentas and umbilical cords. And Renew can very quickly tell you if they can help you. So go to renew.healthcare. It's RENUE.healthcare. They'll look at your circumstance and they'll tell you very quickly if they can help you. Renew.healthcare. Sarcastic terrorism. That's what the supposed DOJ decided to charge Douglas Mackey with. That law was invented to stop KKK members from threatening black people away from polling stations. Sarcastic terrorism. To use terrorism to stop people from voting. Good law. Should be employed. Should have been employed against the Black Panthers who stood outside of a polling location a few years ago with, nightsticks, threatening people just by their presence. Ricky Vaughn was the name that Douglas Mackey used online, and he was good at it. Really good at it. He was a troll to some degree, a pro-Trump troll. He developed a ton of followers. I once had a run-in with him, a debate, and I found him to be rude. I found him to be someone I just blocked. I didn't know that one day I'd be defending him. So he posted a meme. Wasn't even his. He didn't create it. He retweeted it. It said you could vote for Hillary Clinton via text message. And then the DOJ came. You're a sarcastic terrorist. And they got him sentenced to 7 months in prison for hitting retweet on a meme. Now, when they went to trial, they brought with them this many victims. 0. They weren't able to find a single human being who was fooled into believing they had voted by texting Hillary to a text line. 0. A victimless crime of speech, of a joke. There's a liberal filmmaker who did the same thing, except she created the content. She made a video saying that you could support Trump online. Christina Wong, her tweet right here. Hey, Trump supporters, skip poll lines at election 2016 and text in your vote. Text votes are legit, or vote tomorrow on Super Wednesday. And she took a picture of herself with a Trump sign and a Make America Great Again hat. She was not charged. Jimmy Kimmel, such a funny comedian, went on TV and did effectively what Ricky Vaughn did. In other words, his real name, Douglas Mackey.
Give him a call. Wrestle that mop bucket out of his hands. I don't know if you guys know about this, but we have an election coming up on... I feel pretty relaxed about it. I've really been enjoying the week. It's in times like these, it's important to remember that cannabis is legal in our state. But you have to vote. If you can vote early, vote early. If you can't vote early, vote on time. If you want to vote for Trump, vote late, vote very late. Do your voting on Thursday or maybe Friday. This will be my 3rd time voting against Donald Trump. 5th, if you count the 2 times he was nominated for an Emmy for a reality show host.
Well, it's comedy routine. If you look at Douglas Mackey's Twitter feed under the name Ricky Vaughn, it was also a comedy routine. Constantly making fun of people, constantly trolling them with jokes, just like Kimmel. See, free speech in America used to be a right. Now it's a privilege. Because when there's selective enforcement of laws, those aren't laws. They're opinions, they're feelings, they're emotions. If someone's angry at you, then you don't have that right. Question is in America is this: will we stand by and allow this? And what's our responsibility? Our responsibility is to speak more. Our responsibility is to demand justice. Our responsibility, if President Trump makes it into office, is to pressure him to remake the Department of Justice from the ground up. And people are going to scream and holler and sue, and he shouldn't stop. He should also pardon Ricky Vaughn and prosecute everybody who decided to pretend that hitting a retweet on a meme is stochastic terrorism.